Gonna call this meeting to order. We have a quorum. Tina Walters, chair.
Christy Evans, vice chair.
At large.
Russell Byerly at large.
And Brandy's on Zoom. Let's stand for the pledge. Number 3, general public comment. Is there any comment from the public? Hi, public. Number 4, approval of the minutes from the June 12th meeting. Do I hear a motion? It does say April there. You're right. It says April. No, the top says June. The top says June. Yes. In June, we approved the April minutes.
Actions, I move we approve the April minute or June minutes. Don't start me.
Do I hear a second?
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Number 5, election of cab officers. This is on the agenda because I am stepping down. Once we have a vote new chair and vice chair, we will switch around and the new chair will continue the meeting. So Candy, I have a question.
Yes.
So how do we proceed now? Do we just all nominate somebody?
Yeah. So
or-
yeah, what typically happens is someone might nominate a person with their approval. So say someone wasn't here tonight or something like that, they, they'd have to say they would want to. And then there would be a discussion among the board members. And then someone may make I think at that point, when someone moves, then you can also open it up for public comment as well before a vote takes place. So you'll make a public comment opportunity and then someone would second, and then the motion would either carry or it would not. And then if it does not, then another person would potentially be nominated for the chair. And then the same thing would take place with the vice chair position.
Okay. All right. So I nominate Russell Byerly for chair. Do we have any public comment on this choice? Are
there any other options? Are we reduced to this? Okay. Yeah, I accept.
Outstanding.
So to confirm, Tina moved and Shotzi seconded. Is that correct?
Yes. Does anybody have any public comment on our choice? A lot of shaking heads. No. All in favor of Russell Byerly being chair?
Aye.
Aye.
I
Yes,
guess.
Shotzi. Okay.
Nominate that Christy stays as vice chair.
I second.
Second.
Do you agree?
I'll accept that.
Is there any public comment? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Brandy on board with this?
All right, we have to wait
Oh.
for the whole thing.
She has raised her hand.
Yes.
Let's allow her to talk.
Brandy?
Yeah, you have to allow her to talk, don't you?
No, I put it in the chat. I was in favor on both sides.
Okay,
Wonderful.
awesome. Now we switch.
Okay, well, if I move over there, you have to control the public comment remote because it won't reach from over there. I'm just going to stay here.
New chairman position.
No. I like to see.
You're going to train one.
Hi.
I'm sorry? Yes, it's very difficult. It took me many years of training.
Wait, where's she going?
So
Wait, what is she doing?
I believe she's, your mic is.
Why are you going to sit down over there? You're still on the
Stay at
board,
the
aren't
table
you?
for the evening. We discussed this earlier at the bar last week. Brandy, does she go away?
You mean Candy?
Candy.
That's okay. I have a sister, Brandy, so I'm used to it.
Yeah.
No,
this-
Tina is still a member of the cab, so we hope if she's willing that she would continue to sit at the dais.
Just when you thought you were out.
Yes, we've done this
Makes it
before.
look like we don't know what we're doing.
Hmm.
Oh, never. Oh, unless Russell, do you want me to do the button?
Sure. I have no preference here.
I feel like that's. Yeah, can I do it from here?
No, I did. You have to be kind of line of sight. It's a very weak battery.
Okay, hold on.
Sure.
Hey, what do I press?
Okay, so if
I remember, I mean,
for 3 minutes, you push 3 minutes. And then you keep doing it until it starts working. And then if it refuses to cooperate, you take the battery out and wiggle it, and then you put it back in. And then when they're done, you push down. And that resets it.
fantastic. All right.
Okay, that concludes item 5, election of cab officers. Moving on to item 6, public safety updates. We do not have a representative from Washoe County Sheriff's this week, but Royal Ambulance, you have an update? Would you like to give that now or move or for the next agenda item? To the next one? Okay, wonderful. Do you have a presentation? You do. Okay. Let's figure out how to do that. Candy, I can run that from my end, right?
Yes, that would be great. I've made you a co-chair, and so you can share your screen, or you can manage the room.
Okay. So the easiest way to do this is if you join this meeting, I can make you a co-host and then you can share your screen. Let's see.
Great, we'll do.
Yeah.
Oh,
So I think you can share your screen as a panelist.
I have to send a request to share, which I've done.
Can you approve that, Candy?
Can you tell me the name of the person who, is it
It's gonna
Jeff
be John Ray
Weston?
Hassan.
John. Oh, I see. I'm sorry. You should be a co-host at this time and should be able to share your screen.
Great.
Hey.
All right. Love it when technology works. Well, good evening, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm John Ray Hassan, the Chief Administrative Officer at Royal Ambulance. And I truly have the honor of getting to support our Gerlach, Nevada EMS operations. So there we go. So what I'm looking forward to this evening is the opportunity to tell you a little bit more about Royal Ambulance and then hopefully better explain what our operations in Gerlach will look like and ensure that if there are any questions, we can get those answered. So real quick, by way of introductions, and I know I saw our medical director, Dr. Jeff Weston, is on the call as well. I'm John Ray Hassan. I'm our Chief Administrative Officer, been in EMS in some form or another for over 20 years now, nurse and paramedic by background. I am also a lawyer, but please don't hold that against me. And Steve Grau is our CEO and founder, and I believe he's on with us as well. And really just want to start by saying we're a Bay Area-based company, but rural EMS is certainly for me a passion project. Having started my career with the National Park Service as a law enforcement ranger and paramedic with them, spent 11 years on a search and rescue team. I think like many people, first came up here because of Burning Man and doing medical at Burning Man, but certainly fell in love with the region in its own right, and have really been fortunate to have spent the better part of the past 15 years up and around the entire area and gotten to camp and four-wheel and shoot all over this place. So absolutely love it up here. All right, so a little bit about Royal Ambulance. We were founded in 2005 by Steve Grau. We're now the second largest ambulance provider in the Bay Area. So we have about 140 ambulances, 8 to 900 and something employees, depend upon where we're at. We do a little over 100,000 patient transports annually down in the Bay Area. Do a mix of hospital services. We're partnered with some major healthcare systems, UCSF being one of them, Stanford, Sutter, Kaiser. We do some 911 services in Santa Clara County. And then we do a lot of critical care nursing services. So we transport about 10,000 critical care patients by ground annually. So these are some incredibly complex patients that we do with nurses. I don't think it's a secret. We are also the contracted medical provider staffing both the field hospital and ambulance operations for Burning Man as well. So at the end of the day, I think is anyone who's probably talked to me in the past couple of weeks has heard Royal is a guest in Gerlach. And I think the goal of this operation and the goal of our services here in Gerlach is really twofold. It's to be good community partners, it's to be guests, and it's to provide exceptional patient care. So I just want to start by saying that the goal is not to come into Gerlach and go, we're going to do this the Royal way. The goal is to be able to support Gerlach as it is today and adapt our operations to meet where Gerlach is at. We're genuinely committed to working collaboratively with all stakeholders. We know that everyone doesn't always see eye to eye, but nevertheless, certainly there's a commitment from myself, there's a commitment from Steve, there's a commitment from our entire leadership team that we will always hear you out and definitely want to get as much community input as we can as we look to improve our services and ensure that we provide an exceptional level of patient care and services to the community. We understand that we've got some in the community who are probably not happy about having this service here, and certainly if there was a way to provide more comprehensive services, we obviously understand those needs and feelings. So I do want to address that. Elephant in the room. And we really want to look to supporting a pathway forward to enabling Gerlach volunteer fire as much as possible. Our goal is to be a partner. Our goal is to be a supporter. Our goal is not to be the provider from out of town who comes in and takes over. That's just not what we're about, whether that's here in Gerlach or whether that's any of our operations that we operate in. So just a quick update on the timeline in terms of how we got here. And if this timeline looks fast and furious, it's because, well, it is. We first submitted a proposal to Washoe County in March of 2025 after conversations with Washoe County. In late May, we received a tentative notice of intent to award. This agreement was then not approved by the county commissioners until June 17th. And less than 2 weeks later, we began a partial go live of services. So really a lot came to bear in a very short period of time that I hope is a testament to our level of commitment, our level of dedication, and the amount of resources that Royal was able to bring to bear on Gerlach. At this point, we anticipate a full go live on August 1st. It is possible that we have an intermittent brownout day here and there between now and August 1st. That doesn't look like that's scheduled right now, but certainly our goal is that by August 1st, everything is up and running at 100%. And if there are brownout days, we'll communicate those. So what do our services actually look like? So we have 24/7 advanced life support ambulance, Medic 83. Medic 83 was the same call sign used previously. Once again, if something's working, our goal is to keep it working and not to change it. So this will be a 24/7 advanced life support ambulance. We've had 5 calls since go live. So one of those resulted in a care flight transport off the playa, one was a ground transport, one against medical advice, and 2 treat and release, which is, I think, a really progressive and good thing that we're able to do, and that's provide patient care and treatment in place. And in many cases, then that patient doesn't need to be transported to the hospital. We'll have 1 EMT or advanced EMT and 1 paramedic or EMSRN on duty 24/7, 365. We are working through a 3-month proposed period that we initially had put forth to Washoe County, which is really identical to what REMSA is doing down in Tonopah, where they have a single paramedic and a quick response vehicle, and there's not transportabilities. It doesn't sound like this Nevada EMS was in line with that plan for Gerlach, so we're working through that with them and with Washoe County for what that 3-month period will look like. Right now, we're based at the Crew House on 405 Short Street. So please stop by and say hello. We promise we don't bite. Come on in. We'll give you coffee and royal pens and blankets. We're going to operate out of the existing ambulance apparatus ultimately. So that existing Gerlach fire ambulance that everyone's used to seeing, ultimately we'll slap the Royal Ambulance logo on it somewhere. If the community wants us to rebrand it and take off Gerlach Volunteer Fire, certainly glad to do that as well. But ultimately we'll operate out of that existing ambulance. Currently, though, just based on ambulances that we already had permitted and inspected by the state, we're operating in an existing Royal branded ambulance. So if you see something that's purple driving around, that's us. And then we hope to transition into the Gerlach ambulance sometime in the next few weeks here. So for me, patient care is incredibly important. I think, like most people in EMS, I did not get into this thinking that I was going to be running EMS systems. I got into this to do patient care, and our organization is fundamentally patient focused and community centered because we recognize that it's an incredible honor to take care of patients, and I think that honor is even more pronounced when you're in a rural environment where you have longer patient contact times, longer transport times, and more complexities in that care. So our care really is at the center of everything that we do. Dr. Jeff Weston is our medical director. I saw him on the call there earlier. He's a board certified emergency medicine physician, bunch of experience working all over in rural Nevada, and he's incredibly accessible and great resource for our crews. We have multiple advanced care protocols in place. These have all been approved by Nevada EMS. These are existing protocols. I mentioned in many situations, if we can provide care and treatment in place, we can do that. And then we have a robust clinical review of all calls in Gerlach. So because the call volume here is much smaller compared to a number of our other systems, we're able to really look individually at each call and evaluate the care and the quality that we're providing on every patient who we transport here in Gerlach or touch in the region. So no, this has come up, billing. So we will bill insurance for transports, but we will be accepting that amount received kind of as payment in full for Gerlach transports. So patients will not receive a direct bill from Royal Ambulance. We understood that was very important to the community. We understood that was very important to Washoe County. The last thing that we want is someone afraid to call 911 because they're worried about a several $1,000 bill showing up. So while we will bill insurance, we will not balance bill those. We will not balance bill beyond that. So lastly, just want to call out some key recognitions and gratitudes because the reality of it is coming into an environment like this and the community of Gerlach, especially in a 2-week period, could not have happened without a lot of support. There are too many Royal team members to name, but specifically my boss, our CEO, Steve Grau, Samantha Barakat, our operations director, Katie Thompson, one of our ops supervisors, have all just been incredibly instrumental in pulling this happen. The Washoe County level, appreciate the partnership from Assistant Manager Solero, Manager Brown, and Commissioner Jeannie Herman for really enabling us to come in and do this and support this operation. I believe those are all the members of the Gerlach Fire Department have had the opportunity to connect with over the past couple of weeks. Obviously, I understand that this is emotional in many ways and want to support that as best we can. Pyramid Lake Fire Rescue Chief Don Pelt and Rich Walls were incredibly supportive and collegial in their transition of this. Washoe County Sheriff, same thing. Greg Herrera and Marnie from Burning Man, obviously making some of the initial introductions, and then our partners at Nevada EMS as well. So this is definitely a team effort and important to recognize those folks. So with that, I like how you can only see part of my phone number. Oh, there you go. See part of my phone number up there, but at the expense of getting spam and robocalls. That is my personal cell phone. It's on 24 hours a day, and certainly always glad to be a resource. But if the commission has any questions or would like to allow for any public questions, certainly glad to answer those.
Any questions from the board? Christy.
Hi, Christy Evans.
Hi.
First, I want to thank you for coming here and offering this presentation and for coming to see us like this. It's really important to show your face. I want to address what you mentioned as the elephant in the room. And I think it's important to note, a lot of us in the community are not happy with the general arrangement, but that has no reflection on you as a company. And I just want to, I think it's important for us to recognize that our fight with the county to give us the services we feel like we should get out here in rural Nevada is nothing to do with Royal Ambulance being here to provide us with a really critical service. So I apologize if sometimes those things maybe seem like they're commingled, but they're really two separate things. So thank you for being here and for supporting the community. And we as a community have to keep fighting with the county to get what we think are services that we should get. So
Thank you.
just want to say that up front, that really appreciate you all being here and helping us out in this rather challenging time.
Yeah, of course. And obviously, whatever we can do to partner with you and partner with folks, irrespective of other stakeholders,
Yeah.
certainly we want to do that.
For sure. A couple questions. So you mentioned in the case where there might need to be a brownout day, you said you would communicate that. How will that get communicated so that we can make sure we let the community know?
I think you can tell me the best way to communicate that. I kind of goal is to start a weekly update email. I sent the first one out last week to a number of stakeholders. I'm glad to make that broader, but I think if the community lets us know how you want that information communicated, we will.
Absolutely.
I'm not anticipating this being a regular thing.
Sure.
Certainly, if there is a sick call or something, it's a little more challenging for us to get that filled. But in terms of staffing, we've got 3 of 3 paramedic positions hired. We've got 2 of the 3 full-time EMT positions hired. And we have a pipeline for that other position. So we're feeling relatively bullish in terms of our staffing right now.
Fantastic. We so we have some Facebook groups that we use for those of us that are online for our community. So those are a great resource as a way to like get a notice out. And then for our folks that aren't on the internet very much, the post office bulletin board is a very good place to post stuff, just as a heads up. So you mentioned, so are you all stationed out of the house on Short Street or out of the actual fire station?
We're right now out of the house on Short Street. I think that just makes the most sense for us to be our operations. We don't frankly need the bays and fire apparatus and such. So that house seems to work really well to deploy
Awesome.
to deploy an EMS operation.
I mean, that's where the last folks often were, and we just would knock on the door. So if you don't mind that, then
Please come on by.
you know.
Come on by.
And I don't want to sort of put this on the spot as a comparison, but I know in the Pyramid Lake, because of us being rural and because sometimes we use ambulance or EMS services out here, not necessarily for a life and death situation, but because it's 2 hours to the nearest anything. And so they would offer, if there's an older person that needs some dressing changed, or there's something, you want someone to look at and give an opinion that was okay. And I'm not saying you guys have to do that, but it would be helpful to know if that's an okay thing.
Absolutely. I think we'll respond to anyone who calls us.
Awesome.
We know the call volume up here is probably 80-ish calls a year. So that's, yes, more than enough time in the day to do that.
Awesome. That's super appreciated. And he'll get to public comment. I just want to sort of also offer that we're a funky little town out here, way out in the middle of nowhere. And I would encourage you, if you feel up to it, sometimes we have community events that go on, potlucks, or I don't know, whatever, the chili cook-off in October and our school graduation. And it's really great to go to those events so that people get to know your faces. So please feel welcome and encouraged to come, because that's a great way to get to know people. That's it.
Absolutely. Shotzi, please.
An F, but I'm going to go over them again. Shotzi. Christy covered most of my A, B, and F, but there was a couple additions to that. When she said meeting us, that's not the only way. A lot of it, when we get new people up here, fire departments, police departments, the whole works, they actually drive around and knock on people's door and introduce themselves. And it goes pretty smoothly for the most part, especially with our seniors, because they like to know your face before you come in. So that's just a suggestion. And a whiteboard hanging up somewhere in case somebody misses it and they go over there and knock on the door. Maybe they know where to come find you at.
Great.
And with F, is the local phone number still in existence in the firehouse to reach the housing unit?
So
There used to be a phone that rang at both places.
not to my knowledge, I'm not sure, but I can give you our crew phone number, or we can
Your
ultimately.
what?
I said we can ultimately share the crew phone number,
Which would be the one at the house?
which is a cell phone that who's ever the on-duty crew has
Absolutely.
has
lovely.
24/7. I don't have that number off the top of my head, but I can provide that.
Not a problem. I appreciate that.
Or Jen can provide that. I would just put that with the caveat of if there is a medical emergency, to please call 911
Always.
and not call the phone
Always.
number.
Yeah,
Uh,
John. Thanks.
But we'll
Okay,
provide that.
and you know that every month we like to see somebody's pretty face at the cab to
Yes,
give an update.
I'm going to try and be in person for you every month, but occasionally you may see me on Zoom.
That
So-
is fine. We're good with that. I know the 3-month gap is still out there and I know we're still working on the money. So I appreciate you continuing to address. And, actually you covered E totally. So I'm out of questions and I do appreciate you guys coming up. I like the hard work you put into trying to get this contract to work and the convoluted process that you stuck with. Thanks, John,
I
and your new team.
Tina?
I have a question. So you
Please.
you said you'll bill insurance
yes,
for the ambulance rides. What about anybody that's uninsured?
then they will not receive a bill. So we will not bill patients directly for services.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Chair
Brandy?
Byerly? Yes, yeah, Brandy has her hand raised. Thank
Hi, I have two, I have a question or two,
Oh,
which is
please.
probably odd for most of you to hear that I actually have a question or two, but I do. One is you said if something is like not majorly emergent, to, give you guys a call and you'd be willing to like look at something like somebody said, changing dressings or whatnot. Is it also possible for somebody to just stop by? Like they don't want to call 911 to get a hold of you to like, okay, I broke my toe, but I don't really need to go to town. I don't really need to call 911. Is it possible just to stop by and have something assessed?
It is always possible to stop by and see us.
Okay,
we're at-
because that's something
we're
that
at
I
the
tell
station,
some
I
of our
think-
Empire people.
Yeah.
Just run over
Yeah.
to the
And
station. Okay.
certainly if we're not there and there's a phone call made, we'll do our best to get you care.
Right. Sometimes it's just like, oh, I broke my toe and I don't really know what to do right now. And I don't want to call 911 because that seems silly, but I'd like somebody to look at it. My second question is, I know in the past, something that I've offered or told some of my new residents of Empire is in the past, we've had like, what is it called? Like almost like a supplemental insurance. Like I know Pyramid Lake had one. I think it was I can't even remember the names of the other ones that I've looked at in the past where you can sign up for, $100 a year covers flight and ambulance. And whatnot. Is that something that yes, thank you, Christy.
Yeah.
Is that something that is like something new that we need to set up with a new program through you guys, or is
So
that even available?
That's not something that we currently have set up today. I think just with the way that we're handling billing, it's not something that would likely offer a ton of value per se, because really those are mostly designed to prevent out-of-pocket medical bills if a patient is balance billed. So not something that we currently have today. Certainly if it's it's certainly glad to explore further.
Thank you.
Yep.
I'm sorry, back to Christy.
So is REMSA still doing care flights?
Yes.
So if people have that extra REMSA insurance, that would help against the care flight.
So
I'm not asking if you know, you
I
don't have
can't
to answer
speak
that. But
to,
yeah,
on how REMS's policies work,
no
unfortunately.
problem.
I will say, obviously, up here, there are 3 different providers that, depend upon where you are, you can get between
Right.
REMSA, SEMSA, and Intermountain Life Flight or Classic and Winnemucca.
Yep. Okay. So for some folks, then that care flight additional coverage could help in case REMSA is the one doing the care flight.
Yes.
And I have one question for you. I'm not going to tell you that you're going to go broke here. I'm just going to tell you that everybody else has trying to provide medical services in Gerlach. So what I would ask you today is, will you commit to this policy of not billing patients, even if your labor costs end up being higher than you think they are and your income ends up being lower than you think it'll be? Will you still stick to that policy as long as you're in Gerlach?
I think that was our commitment earlier, and I think that'll remain our commitment. Is we'll bill insurance, we'll collect legally from insurance, and we will not balance bill patients beyond that.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have questions from the audience. Yes, but I need to get you a battery. Stand by. We're going to take a no
Directly to your face.
duet style.
Seth Strenzel for the record. Thank you for being up here, first of all. We were really facing what may have been a total loss of EMS services, and that was pretty scary. So I'm very pleased you guys are here. My question was, do you know your catchment zone? Are you going to be medically dispatched to VIA, for example, or up to the Oregon line or California line? Is that a part of the agreement, all of Northern Washoe County?
Yeah, so we will respond in the same manner and fashion as Pyramid Lake did when they were dispatched to calls from Gerlach. So if we're dispatched there, we're gonna go there. I mean, our first call was on the playa, technically in Pershing County. You know, we went there, but that's how this is gonna work likely. Third question.
More questions from the audience?
So sorry. Yes. So we've got Robbie Zeno, EMT. Robbie be one of our permanent EMTs up here. Robbie's been an EMT for a number of years, bunch of 911 experience, bunch of ambulance experience. Jen Foss to put everyone on the spot. Same thing. Also very experienced paramedic. Jen's one of our casual medics here up in Gerlach, so you'll see her coming in to help and support days. Jen's here till the 17th. Robbie, I'm sure, will be a very regular face, and feel free to stop by and see him anytime.
Carl, you had a question?
Sure.
Oh yeah, come on up.
Carl Kovac for the record. Welcome to our neighborhood. A couple of things. The previous fire regime was eating at the senior center lunches and got to know the seniors that way. I was wondering if that was a possibility that the new crew could join the seniors and have lunch. Just throwing that out there. Just number one. Number two, could we get a number for the care flight and a website where we could pay that and post that around town, so those who of us wish to become insured that way can become insured that way. Thank you. Also, if there's a non-emergency number for y'all, so we don't have to do the 911 or make the hustle over there, that would be possibly helpful. To that point, I'm curious if the fiber optic is alive in that address that you're all posted up at. If it is, who's the responsible party? If it's it should be the county, presumably. And with that fiber optic, there's an option to put a phone line on it for very short money. And I would propose that we get a landline on that address to make that a non-emergency number, and just to have a landline at that address in the event that the cells go down for whatever. Having that hardwired resource is advantageous in a lot of ways. Lastly, that might conclude what I had for y'all. I just really want to thank you for stepping into the breach and coming out here. It's we're on the frontier, and working on the frontier has its challenges and rewards. And thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Glad to be here. Well, once again, truly, just truly want to say thank you guys for welcoming us up to the community and stuff. And we're guests here, and hopefully we have an opportunity to meet everyone and get as ingrained and comfortable as we can. So thank you.
Really sorry. Chair Byerly, it looks like Brandy wanted to ask an additional question.
Oh, Brandy.
Sorry.
Oh, here I go again. Boy,
All right,
look
there
at
we
me
go.
tonight.
I'm going to stay up here until I'm released this time.
No, right. No, I just have one more comment, more than a question, is that
Yep.
in the past, when we've had new emergency services on board, I am more than willing to give a tour of our mine site, because it's a kind of a complex, it's not just an address. There's many components to the mine at different locations, and the pit and the office and just different things, and to kind of show you how we kind of operate when we have emergencies, which doesn't happen often, knock on wood. But if you talk to any four of those people at the table right now, they can give you my phone number and you can reach out to me, and I can schedule a grand tour of Empire for you, because we are slightly different than Gerlach.
Understood. What certainly any opportunity to get more familiar with the area and more familiar with the terrain that we would love. And obviously the mine's got a lot of additional complexities, it sounds like, between the pit and the office and stuff too. So absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, seeing no additional questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Next is item 8, Gerlach Microgrid Project. Brian Beffert. Brandy, do you still have a question? Your hand is still up. Okay.
Yes, hello. Good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you. And congratulations, Mr. Chair, for your ascension to higher status.
Yes, all will tremble at my wrath. Thank you.
For the record, my name is Brian Beffert, Sustainability Manager for Washoe County. And thank you, Candy, for sharing the slide deck. For those of you who saw my presentation before the GID meeting earlier this month, I'm sorry to report I have nothing else to add, so you will have to endure a little bit of repetition. But I just wanted to let the public know and everyone know 2 basic updates. So we're super lucky to have received a grant, and it's actually an assistance partnership from the National Renewable Energy Lab, the Community Microgrid Assistance Partnership. And I didn't think we were going to get this award, very competitive, but here we are. So that just goes to show sometimes it's a good idea to apply, even if you think the chances are slim. 12 communities in Alaska, 1 community in North Dakota, and Washoe County, us. And so we will receive some share of funding and technical assistance to support the development of a solar microgrid in Gerlach. And we have 2 options to start. You're sitting in one of them. So from the beginning of our conversations about renewable energy and climate resilient Gerlach, the conversation has started with what can we do with the community center there to make it a place for people to have power or cool when it's hot, or hot when it's cool and the power goes out. And so we're looking at a possibility of a solar powered battery backup microgrid. Maybe I guess we would call that a nano grid for the community center. And in addition, the Gerlach GID owns 50 acres out on the west side of town. And we would love to be able to explore the potential for developing solar on that site. The ground's a little squishy, but I think the technology exists to put panels out there. The good news, if we were forward with that, is 50 acres would provide 4 to 5 times more power than the town of Gerlach needs, which means there is potential for income. And what that looks like is still to be determined. But maybe this income could be used to help the town with expenses for whatever you deem appropriate. And I guess, but I haven't heard anything more. I received a template for a press release and social media posts from CMAP folks. I have not had any conversations. We have not formalized any agreements. So I don't know, excuse me, I don't know what it's going to look like, but you will be the first to hear as soon as I do. And so on that topic, does anyone have any questions or comments?
Comments? Shotzi?
Brian, I just wanted to point out, It's not lucky. You worked super hard to get this thing off the ground and make it happen. So luck was not involved, and I thank you for all your hard work.
Oh, thank you very much. There's a saying, oh, and I don't see myself on camera and I don't know how to turn it on. So just trust
I've
that
never heard that saying.
I know
no,
what you
that-
look like.
The saying is, luck favors the prepared, right?
Correct. And do you by any chance have the APN for that 50 acres? The property number? Oh, there you go.
There I am. Thank you. Thank you, Candy. I've been promoted to a panelist. Did I hear you say property number, the APN?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
If you'll indulge me, I can find it pretty quickly.
Thanks.
Opening up worms for anyone who does not know, the Washoe Regional Mapping System is a wonderful tool to look up parcels throughout the county. And I'm just flying up to Gerlach, zooming in to Gerlach.
I'm a little quicker on the draw, Brian. I got it. It's 071-240-08.
That the one with the stable on it behind my house?
Yes, it's the
Okay.
one with the old, was that 4-H stable
Yeah.
from the high school?
That's what I thought. Okay, thanks.
I'm almost there. Okay, so thank you for that, Russell. And so as I mentioned, we'll see what happens with this as we move forward. But I haven't heard any further updates. Moving on to the second topic about financing. Again, it's pretty much the same report. I am working with, because so it's a $295,000 support assistance grant for the microgrid, but that's not enough to build a microgrid. And we need to pay for it. How are we going to do that in this age of declining federal support and costs are going up everywhere? So I have been in conversations with the Community Foundation of Northern Nevada. And sorry, I'm closing. Candy, would it be possible to put the slide back up, or is it up? I'm sorry, I just see
Let me reshare my screen and you
Only-
guys let me know. if this is
those are
working.
my talking points, and I can't remember what I was going to say until I see it.
I have the
That's perfect. Thank you very much, Candy. So I've been in conversations with the Community Foundation of Northern Nevada, as well as the Nevada Clean Energy Fund, which has been a partner throughout all of our net zero climate resilient Gerlach conversations about establishing a charitable fund at the Community Foundation. And really that's for two purposes. For you folks to help fund your project and your goals for energy efficiency and renewable energy and climate resiliency. And on that front, and I mentioned this at the GID, I'm hoping to get the account established in time for August because it would be great to take advantage of anyone who just happens to be driving through town at that time. And I would love to be able to put a sign out declaring our ambitious goals, energy goals for the town with the QR code, please donate here to support the project and offset your carbon emissions while you're at it. And so that's the goal. And I'm trying to establish the fund. I'm reaching out to donors. It's $100,000 seed funding. We have $51,000 committed. And if anyone has $49,000 available or any portion thereof, it would be great to have Gerlach get some skin in the game and to support the foundation of this fund. Once it's established, it will be an independent fund. I'm working to establish it, but once it's established, it will not be a Washoe County controlled fund. The Washoe just describes the territory. I'd like it to remain within the boundaries of Washoe County, and all the funds would be managed by the Community Foundation, and all funding would be decided by an advisory board made up of, and we could decide what the makeup would be, but representatives from each of the municipalities, maybe a subject matter expert or two, and a citizen or two, who would make all final decisions on how and whether and where funding goes, which I like the idea of that independence, and I do trust our community to make the right decision. And then, just as an aside, the other inspiration for this fund is community forestry. We did achieve a grant, a federal and state grant, to launch a community forestry program, and that was canceled with the new federal administration. Reno's the fastest warming city in the United States, and trees are one of the best, easiest answers. Not the only one, but it's a great place to start. And I'm not willing to wait for the federal government to prioritize funding this again. So we're the ones we've been waiting for. And if we want a safer, healthier, cleaner community, we need to invest in that. So that's the other inspiration for this Community Foundation Fund. So anyway, I will launch as soon as we have donors. If you know anyone with the checkbook, I'm happy to drive up and pick up the check personally. And as soon as we have the account, we'll set up Venmo and other things like that to make it as easy as possible. I think that's all I have to announce. I'm happy to answer any questions or hear comments.
So my first question is rather obvious. Although you're asking for 100,000, I assume you could use more than that. So
right.
If someone were to give you $49,000 today, you would not stop fundraising. This is going to be an ongoing concern.
Yes, 100%. And so I'll be happy to go into more detail. $100,000 is just to establish the account with the Community Foundation. Bank accounts require minimum balance, and I guess Community Foundation for this fund, that's their minimum balance for this. So that's just to set it up. The project, the microgrid project itself, will probably be in the six figures pretty easily. And we will need to fundraise for that. I have heard rumors that companies may be interested. We have some big companies in the county or right outside of the county in the Tahoe Reno Industrial Complex. And additionally, every project that we work on with this fund, whether it's solar panels or weatherizing homes, planting trees, all of those projects are demonstrable and measurable by metrics. And globally, many carbon indexes are in place to measure progress like that. And that type of carbon index can perhaps attract corporate funds for those companies that want to offset their emissions. So in addition to being a carbon index, it could also be charitable, trying to build the best mousetrap we have. And so, yes, once we get $100,000, that's when the fundraising actually begins. That's the floor, and that's just to establish the account so we can go out and talk to more funders.
Second question. It's my understanding that due to changes in leadership at a national level, that carbon credits aren't so much part of the equation anymore as far as making these projects self-funding. Can you give us a little update on what it looks like as far as the carbon credit market these days?
Thank you, Russell. I'm not sure what the status is of the domestic carbon credit market. I have heard and read some articles that internationally things are still strong and that climate action and carbon markets are still a thing elsewhere on the planet. And I'm just hoping that market recovers. Maybe it's a dip for the time being, but it's still a thing. atmospheric chemistry still exists. Heat waves and fires and sea level rise and other things are still affecting communities and our community. And carbon credits are a good way to help companies offset while also doing good for local communities.
Well, the reason I ask is that you mentioned earlier that trees are one of the most effective ways of getting carbon out of the atmosphere. The problem is here, the trees die and then they become fuel. So to mitigate that fuel, we have to cut the trees down and then we burn them to be rid of them. So it kind of defeats the purpose of growing trees. But there are ways that this waste, this fuel that we mitigate for fire protection could be sequestered to generate carbon credits. That's something that small communities do, right? Is that something that is potentially developable now, or are we going to have to wait until the wind blows the other direction?
You know, I think anything's possible conceptually, but you do point out an important point. The goal is not to plant trees. The goal is to grow trees. And successfully, and it's going to require community partnerships and a lot of investment in time and watering, irrigation infrastructure, and tracking tools and people who can make sure that all trees planted are cared for so they can be successful. One of my inspirations on this is One Truckee River, which has a river restoration project, and it's a workforce development project, and they have workers and crew leads from the community who are working to help clean up the river, engage with the unhoused community there, and do some habitat restoration. And it's a great model to create jobs for people in the community while also serving that same community. What we do with wood that doesn't make it, obviously there will be some trees that don't make it, and burning them is one option, but there may be other options to sequester. Biochar is an option. Grinding them up for mulch is an option. There are many pathways.
Great, thank you. Christy.
Thank you.
Christy Evans. Well, I'm going to disagree with Russell here because the trees die when people don't water them, but I can tell you when I water my trees, they thrive out here. So I think it's a user problem, not a tree problem. Okay, question for you, Brian. So for donations to get this whatever the funding started, are they tax deductible?
So yes, that's my understanding. The Community Foundation of Northern Nevada is a 501c3 nonprofit, and this would be a nonprofit fund. So
Right.
yes, it would be tax deductible charitable donation.
And if I heard you correctly, that you're hoping to get this set up so that we could potentially take donations come August.
That's the goal. I would like to be able to take advantage of traffic flows through town.
Is there a way, I don't know how Washoe County gets signs made, but if we could get, like the lawn signs that political candidates, and the sticks or whatever stakes, I mean, if there's a way to get a handful or a dozen of those, there's businesses in town that I'm sure if we all put up the same sign that had something catchy on it with a big QR code, that more than just a little piece of paper. Like if we can get some big signs, we could plaster them all over. And anyway, just a thought.
Right, thank you. We do have a graphics department available in our digital communications team, and so that would be entirely possible. I was thinking of something bigger, like a 6x6 or 4x4 out on the street, but I love your idea of the smaller signs posted everywhere and anywhere we can. And so I would love to follow up with you on that. And I can reach out to both the GID and the CAB in one fell swoop, I think,
Yeah.
email, and to discuss what that might look like.
Yeah, I mean, we have water sales, we've got, my business and the Empire Store and you know what I mean, Bruno's. I'm sure if we could sort of get them up and around. And when I say, 6 by 6, great. Let's make them big. Anyway, that's it.
More questions or comments from the board? No? Public comment? Questions or comments from the audience? Well, seeing none, thank you very much, Brian.
I appreciate your time. Thank you, everyone, for your service to your community.
Okay, moving on to item 8. I'm sorry, that was item 8. Item 9, Neighborhood Development Hub and other engagement opportunities. Candy?
Thank you. This is Candy Ramos for the record with Washoe County. I'd like to share my screen to share with you. Sorry, this always takes a second. Our neighborhood development hub to see of any upcoming activities or events that are taking place in the Gerlach area. This is kind of a pain. Let's see what happens. This isn't it, is it? Let me try and share the right screen with you guys. I'm so sorry. Technology. Can you guys see my screen now? And it says Board of County Commissioners at the top.
We're seeing some kind of Word document that looks like you're editing.
All right, let me try and share again. Share. Here we go. Here we go. Can you see it now? It says Board of County Commissioners.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. So if you go to washoecounty.gov, I always like to start at the very beginning instead of just taking you directly to the page because it's nice to show people the breadcrumbs to find what they need to find. So if you go to washoecounty.gov and you go to your government and you look at get involved, this is the best place to find so many opportunities for exactly what it says to become involved. Here's our CAB page, but we always like to show that people can come here to see the neighborhood development hub. So if you click on the neighborhood development hub, it does take you to a different screen. It's a whole different application. And this shows all of the upcoming development projects that might be taking place in Washoe County, either in the near future or in the near past. And you can see that it's both map-based with the polka dots, as well as project lists in alphabetical order. So to come up north of Pyramid Lake, where you all are, it says Black Rock Rentals. And if you go over here, unfortunately, if you click on this, nothing happens. But now that we know Black Rock Rentals is in the general area of the Gerlach area, that's when this populates. And it provides some information. It looks like the meeting already took place on April 22nd in 2025. It's in District 5. There's always a brief project description. The developer was Dave Snellgrove, and it has a parcel number. This is where it has the meeting identification. There's an opportunity to submit feedback. But because this has already taken place, this is going to have all of the information down here. It'll have a meeting summary of things that happened, the notice card that was sent out to people. It's this notice card. It comes to people's mailboxes. It's to this within 750 feet of the project, which is small even for an urban population, let alone in Gerlach where things are really spread out. So it also is to the at least 30 different properties as well. And then here's the presentation, things like this. So here's all of the information. If you submit feedback, let's see what happens. First and last name. So you can provide all of this information for their comments. And so this has been successful in having people submit information like, hey, we like Black Rock Rentals. We just wish that you would put a crosswalk, for instance. And then sometimes they make changes to the plan based on the public information that's received. And anything that's promised during these meetings that take place, like the one that took place back in April, these meetings are recorded, and then those recordings and the notes and things like that are provided to Washoe County's planning department. So if they made a commitment during that meeting, that then has to be integrated into their plan. So this is really nice that these take place a lot earlier in the development process than how things used to be. So That is just for instance of what happens here. But again, this is the neighborhood development hub. Nothing new appears to be coming up in the Black Rock area. Does anyone have any questions on the hub before I proceed to anything else?
I don't think we do.
Yeah, that we go over this every month. We just like to keep you guys informed of what could be coming up. Going back to the Washoe County webpage, sorry. Here it is. So this is the one I told you about with you go to community involvement. This is another great place to find about volunteer opportunities and boards and committees that could be coming up. So if you go to our volunteer opportunities, here are the things that people could apply for right now. So these are ways that people can become involved either with CERT, the Community Emergency Response Team, CASA, Court Appointed Special Advocates, any board and commission openings that are taking place is right here. So right now we do have an opening on the Open Space and Regional Parks Commission, and then the Washoe County Human Services Agency Senior Advisory Board. So if you clicked on, say, the Open Space and Parks Commission, this has information about what exactly the opening is, the time commitment, what it means to apply. Sometimes these will be specific to a specific district. This one does not look like it is for a specific district, but sometimes like if it's like the Planning Commission, it'll say this is specific to District 5, which Gerlach falls within, Gerlach and Empire. But this is just a way we like to, again, keep everyone informed of ways that they can have their voices heard. And that's that. Does anyone have any questions on the openings for boards and commissions? I don't hear any.
I don't believe we do.
Thank you. Well, if anyone has any questions at any time, please feel free to reach out to me. But we also go over this every month.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we have a report on requests for service from previous CAB meetings, which says that the CAB chair will provide a report to the community outlining requests that were made of the county. And I am not prepared for that. Would you like to take that as well, Candy?
Yes. So there were no outstanding requests from the last meeting. However, we do make note during these meetings of things that came up. So we will be sure. I know I've been speaking with Shotzi as like more of a one-on-one regarding a possible conversation with Assistant County Manager Dave Solero to talk about PILT money in more detail. But once the resolution becomes available, that's when we like to provide the outcome so that the CAB chair can then say, hey, back in June, CAB member Gambrell mentioned this thing, here's what happened, and then you can report that out. So if topics come up and then resolutions become available, we do like to provide you with a CAB chair report out.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
Do we have any questions or comments on that? No? No? Seeing none. Item 11, commissioner and board member items. I don't believe our commissioner is joining us this evening, so I'll start with board member items. I would like to request, if this is possible, I've recently became aware of the Sagebrush War and how this part of Nevada became part of Washoe County. And it's a crazy story that ends in an actual shooting war where Nevada invaded California. The shootout lasted 4 hours and ended with all parties drinking together. Would it be possible to get somebody to give us a brief synopsis of this part of Nevada history? Originally, this was a different county that was dissolved when they finally surveyed the border and found out that the county seat was actually in California and is now known as Susanville. So this part of Nevada was assigned to Washoe County against their will and over their protests. And I think that might explain a lot of things that have happened since then. Is that something we could look into, Candy?
Yes, I will look into this for you and for a potential possible future presentation.
Great. Thank you so much. And second, as a general announcement, this Saturday, there is a bingo fundraiser at Bruno's featuring local celebrity Russell Byerly, who will be calling numbers with his smooth, soothing voice. Please join us. I believe cards are $6 and it all goes to buy bingo prizes for senior bingo. Any other items from the board? Christy?
I'm very excited about bingo, by the way. So are you, where are we at with CAB membership? Who knows the answer?
The chairs will be filled soon.
What does that mean?
So I can make a comment if you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay.
on this. So I don't want to spoiler alert for the room, but Tina Walters, our prior cab chair from just an hour ago, has tendered her resignation after, I believe it's 18 years of public service to the Gerlach community. So 3 cheers for Tina. She's incredible.
Yes.
She has promised me that we will remain in touch. Yay, we love Tina. But she has a lot of other life obligations. So after this meeting, there will be a vacant at-large seat because Tina currently fills an at-large seat. Just recently, and I'm not sure if they're in the room or not, but Commissioner Herman has appointed there were 2 at-large alternate seats that were available. And we had people who applied for those and were appointed. They were Elizabeth Shoemaker and Luis Garcia. So at this moment, all 5 of the cab at-large seats are filled by Tina, Shotzi, Christy, Russell, and Brandy, with the 2 alternate seats being filled by Elizabeth and Luis. After today's date, because Miss Walters has resigned her position, that means an at-large seat will become available. So Commissioner Herman may choose to select one of the 2 at-large alternate seats. There have also been a couple of other applications for the cab. So Commissioner Herman may choose to select one of the currently at-large alternate seats, or she may choose to fill the at-large seat from one of the open applications right now. So we should know that very soon. And then we can update the roster. And I'm not sure if the individuals, Elizabeth or Luis, are in the room, if they would like to introduce themselves to the community. But so that's where we sit right now with the board.
Fantastic. That is a great update. Thank you, Candy. So how many are applications like open? Like if someone still wants to apply to be one of the, what do you call alternates, or is there a limited number?
Candy Ramos for the record. So applications are open all the time. So anyone can apply at any time if an opportunity presents itself. Right now, for instance, an opportunity has just presented itself. So that person might be appointed from just a general application pool from someone who's already applied within the last year. Applications are held for 1 year, and then they're sent to the commissioner for her consideration. But we do encourage people, if they would like to apply, to be considered. Because this opportunity did just present itself, the near future would probably be the best bet if they wanted to be considered for this. And then those applications are sent to Commissioner Herman for her review and possible appointment.
Fantastic. Well, Tina, thank you so much for so many years of being here. I hope you come visit us often.
I'll be heckling you in the audience.
There you go.
I did write a couple words.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay, fine.
Well, I'm sorry. What was that, Tina? Okay. Shotzi.
So I'm not ready for this yet. With regards to things that were discussed, I seem to recall talking about finding a way to get a report on where the hotel fees that are charged for our entertainment and things here in Gerlach, where they were being sent to, because my understanding is the entertainment fee, whatever the tax is called, that $16 I pay in Reno should stay in the area it's earned in. So I'm looking for somebody to explain to me how the entertainment tax fees get dispersed out. It's similarly a pilt. I want bringing money home. Okay. That was very scratchy because I'm still emotional about Tina. Okay. We're working on that. And the second thing is today I went on the cab website because I knew this was coming and we were going to talk about Tina leaving and things like that. And I'd heard somebody mention the other day that cab areas had changed at the general cab meeting with our commissioner. So I went on the website today and I looked under Gerlach cab area of responsibility, and it showed me Sun Valley and all the other ones that Jeannie Harriman's in charge. And I couldn't scooch the map up there to see my 2,200 square miles. So maybe I'm doing something wrong on the internet, Candy, but it used to be when I tapped on Gerlach area of operations, it showed me all of our northern Nevada that we've been responsible for since God was a guppy or since the war in the Sage. So I'm wondering if you could check on that webpage for me, please. Let everybody else know. Yes. Tina's been an inspiration to me on this board since I got to town because I watched her operate. She taught me a lot. I've learned a lot. I'm going to verklempt a little here, but we are also going to be drinking at Joe's after this for anybody who'd care to join us. Miss you, girl, already.
Actually, Candy, if I have one item that I forgot to bring up a moment ago for a future meeting. I recently noticed that there's an automated license plate reader installed on Aspen Way here in Gerlach, and I would love someone from the Washoe County Sheriff's Office to come talk to us about what kind of data is being collected, how is it being stored, who is it being shared with, and what was the process for approving this site, and what can we do to find out a little more about this program.
We'll write that down. Thank you.
Thank you. I believe that moves us on to general public comment.
Can I read my little thing?
Did you want to say something, Tina?
Can I read my little?
Yeah, you can read. I didn't realize you had prepared comments.
Yep.
Please go ahead.
So I've enjoyed being on the cab since I was an alternate in 2008, and then an at-large member. I was a board member when the cab dissolved the first time. I was elected chair when a group of us stepped up during the reformation of cabs. I was a chair when the cab dissolved again. I was elected chair when the group of us stepped up during the second reformation of cabs. I love our current board and I'm ready to pass on the torch. Congratulations, Russell and Christy.
Thank you again for your service. General public comment. If anyone else would like to thank Tina for her service, now is the time. No? Carl?
Carl Kobeck for the record. On behalf of the public, I'd like to thank Tina for her selfless service to the community of Gerlach. That's a lot of meetings, 18 years. They weren't all, I'm sure, as exciting as this one. Wow. It takes a lot to show up to and make time in your schedule and clear everything to come and put the needs of your community before the needs of yourself. And that's really special. And each one of your board members is doing that. And that's community service. And we owe a deep debt to Tina for 18 years of that. And you have my gratitude. Thank you so much. Moving on the subject of what Brian briefly touched on, and I did speak out to at the GGID meeting, which is the fuel load in this town and up at the burn pile. There is an outfit in California, not too far from Susanville, that does burn pallets and turn them into fuel. It's wood that they burn in giant furnaces and boil water and turn that into power. We might, I'll try to look at that up and see if we might send semi-trailers loads of our hardwood green waste over there. And even if it just goes that way so it doesn't go straight into the atmosphere, that would be a win. And maybe some of these carbon sequestering people would pay for the gas. It would be a huge harvesting of, it would be big win for the earth. To that end, we still need to get the green waste out of town because we have no fire department and it's all over the place. The standing deadwood, etc. Ounces of preventions are going to be way worth the pounds of cure. And so I'm have a dump trailer. Anybody who needs, if you pull the weeds, I will come and take them to the dump. That's my deal to you. Lastly, thanking Brandy for a dump trailer full of gypsum, which is a super soil amendment and is going all over town and out to some of the agricultural properties. Anybody who would like some of that gypsum, reach out to me and I will bring it to your house. It doubles your water, the use of your water, makes your water goes twice as far, is what I'm trying to say, and it makes your greenery explode. I know so because I put it on my stuff this afternoon and it immediately smiled and responded. Thank you, Brandy. Appreciate you.
Do we have any other public comments? Going once, going twice? All right. Would you like to give us a motion to adjourn, Tina?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second?
Isn't it?
All in favor?
Hi.
Love
Thank
you,
you,
Candy.
everyone, for
Thanks.
coming.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Tina.
Thanks, Candy.
Thank you, Candy.
Thank you all. We'll be in touch. Have fun at Joe's.
Love you, Candy.
Have a bub for me. Bye, y'all.